I hope you aren't getting too tired with these surroundings, viewers. I know that really every episode for the last few episodes has featured this part of Vancouver. But really we're trying to figure out exactly what to expect in the way of the behavior and the approach to the ministry of the early 21st century cult members. And you'll notice, viewers, that the cult members have not been so audacious as to set up with a stand today. Observe how the cult members have just set up with carts that they are going to be able to roll away if need be. I wonder if these cult members are now waiting for direction from their cult minders, whether or not to just stay or whether or not to begin rolling away. This cult member's name is Ron Peebles. Ron Peebles packs a mean left uppercut to the gut. He does, God did bless him with the gift of trash talking. I wonder if this cult member ever thought that he would give evidence of his true Christian faith one day by punching somebody in the stomach and making threats about punching them in the face. I wonder if you told this cult member once upon a time, you know what, Ron, one day before you are provided with escape through Armageddon, you are going to punch somebody in the stomach and you are going to... Yeah, that man desperately wants me to follow him, viewers. That man wants me to follow him. I would say he wants me right now to follow him more than he wants the Great Tribulation to break out. These cult members, however, I've never chronicled their behavior. They seem like fine, perfectly decent, well-meaning human beings. Unfortunately, they are being held captive by this cult. They are once again on the phone to their cult minders to ask what they are to do. Really, it's going to be quite easy for these cult members to move along today. They don't have to disassemble an entire stand. All they have to do is, I think, just slip that in front, and then be on their way. Then they'll be on their way. I wonder if these cult members are going to be on their way today. Or if they're going to linger while I read to you, what do I read to you from today, viewers? What should I read to you from today, viewers? Should I read to you from the Circuit Overseer Guidelines? Should I read to you from the February 1st, 2018 letter to the body of elders regarding witnessing in public? Should I read to you an article on the lawsuit that is developing in Montana? Or should I read to you from the Convention Guidelines, the Shepherd the Flock of God Manual? I really don't know. Let's see what I have today, viewers. You know what? I'm just going to read to you today, viewers, from the very first thing I grab. And yes, it is going to be the Circuit Overseer Guidelines. Yes, viewers, I'm now going to read to you from the Circuit Overseer Guidelines. I wonder why these cult members are standing. Notice how they've put the cart a lot closer to the lampstand. See, so the lampstand is now part of their personal space, right? There's the cart, there's the lampstand, there's the space in between the cart and lampstand and them that is really their personal space. So are these cult members trying to draw people to God's kingdom, or are they marking their territory? Really, as you know, viewers, the territory surrounding us now is all going to belong to these cult members eventually. Once you and I and everyone walking past either surrenders their soul for Jehovah or dies at Armageddon for refusing to do so, once again, the cult members have arrived to discuss what to do about yours truly, their chronicler. I didn't even get around to reading to you today, viewers. I'm so sorry. I wasn't able to get around to reading to you today. Perhaps I'll have the opportunity to read to you in front of another cluster of cult members. I wonder if you guys can hear what they're saying. I can't hear what they're saying. One of these days, viewers, hopefully we will chronicle the behavior of the early 21st century cult members in an area where we will be able to hear what they say to one another. I'm sure that there are many of you out there who are recording these cult members in their more preferred habitat, their echo chamber. I tried to do that on several occasions and was able to successfully do so, but now I really don't like my chances. I really don't like my chances of being admitted into a Kingdom Hall in the Lower Mainland area. I think it would take me having to... I wonder if I were to ask this cult member if my picture is being spread around to Kingdom Halls just in Vancouver or in surrounding suburbs or the entire province, if he would tell me. I wonder if I could ask this cult member for his help in being able to determine where I could go and gain access to a Kingdom Hall, if he would tell me. I wonder if I were to walk up to this cult member and say, hey, I know I used to serve alongside you in the False Creek congregation. I really didn't think much of you then. I found you to be an incredibly arrogant, jealous, petty man. But that aside, I was wondering if you wouldn't mind telling me what Kingdom Hall I might have access to. Do I have to leave the province? Do I have to leave the country? I wonder if you would say, well, you know, Stuart, your picture has been spread around congregations, as far as I know, congregations throughout Vancouver have your picture, they know your name, they've seen our snapshots of you, so I think you'd have to go to at least Alberta in order to be able to attend a public meeting of Jehovah's Witnesses and quietly sit through it. I wonder if it would interest these cult members to know that I have been to several meetings of these cult members in recent months, and not once have I disrupted the actual meeting. In fact, these cult members have disrupted the meeting by calling the police and having them drag me out halfway through the meeting. You'll recall in that episode, viewers, 4 of the appointed cult members really trying to have their way with me. I would not let them have their way with me. Then all of a sudden, like that, viewers, they were then afraid of me, and the police had to come. And as you know, a good police officer doesn't really care about what it is that's making somebody afraid of them. Just the fact that person has said they are afraid is good enough for them to come. So it was good enough for them to come that day and drag me out of the Kingdom Hall. And you'll recall the expression on the faces of the appointed cult members while that police officer was interrogating me, contrasting their expression when they were supposedly afraid of me inside the Kingdom Hall. I wonder if I were to gain access to a meeting where this cult member worships his God, Jehovah, what his behavior would be right inside the Kingdom Hall. I wonder if this cult member went to a meeting and he looked up and he looked over and he saw your chronicler standing there, what he would do. I wonder what he would do. I wonder if he would approach me. I wonder if he would approach a fellow cult member. I wonder if he would just call the police right away. I wonder what he would do. Yes, this cult member is nodding to the person walking by. Really, at this point, viewers, the only thing people are doing walking by, looking in this direction, is wondering about me, wondering what I'm doing. But of course, as you know, these cult members are quite possibly the most self-centered people on the planet, so they think every bit of attention directed towards them.
You're with Jesus Christ, you're with Jesus Christ. Somebody's against you because you're with Jesus Christ, you're the enemy.
This cult member is now going to keep this conversation going for as long as possible. This man has just insinuated that I am Antichrist. This cult member likes the sound of that. This cult member is going to keep this conversation going for a while now because of how good it's going to make him feel. This individual thinks that because he has called me Antichrist, I'm Antichrist. I remember when this cult member, when this gentleman before came up to help these cult members, he associated and compared me standing next to them with a sign with him being death threatened. So I don't really know if he's worth...
And a shit disturber. That's you. Well, I have peace in my heart. I have love in my heart, and I've experienced the love of the Creator. He has.
This man has said that I have not experienced the love of the Creator.
You don't know what love is.
This man says that I don't know what love is. Wow, viewers. I wonder if I were to ask this man if he's ever been baptized as one of Jehovah's Witnesses and served as one of Jehovah's Witnesses for 20 years.
I've been baptized by the love of my Creator.
Again, he's not answering the question that I'm referring you to.
What's your question again?
Have you ever served as one of Jehovah's Witnesses?
No. Have you?
Thank you very much, viewers. You know this man
Have
is
you?
not served as one of
Can you-
Jehovah's Witnesses.
Can you?
He doesn't understand what he's watching
you're
right
all
now.
talk and there's no interaction with you.
There is no interaction with me at the moment
There's no interaction
because
with you because you're so full of yourself
he thinks I'm so full of myself.
and you're so hypocritical.
I wonder if I were to tell this man he's welcome to go to my YouTube channel and watch videos of me trying to talk to these cult members, if he would go watch.
Well, you can't even do it in person, but tell me your YouTube channel and I'll look at it.
XJDub.
Have you got a pencil? Can you put it
Go
on?
ahead, write it down. Yeah, XJDUB. Just go to YouTube, type XJDUB.
And maybe you'll have something worth listening to on it. Who knows?
You need
it could happen.
believe me, sir. I've backed up. I've taken a running start, and this is what I'm now doing.
Okay, so let's have it again. J.
X.
Okay.
J.
Yeah.
D.
Yep.
Observe these cult members. Watch me give this man my YouTube channel name.
Okay,
Wow.
just wait.
XJDUB.
That's it on
Yeah.
YouTube?
And then you can go to Down with the Tower. You can go to I'm Worldly. You can go to Trisha Frangina. You can go to Stacey Lopez. You can go to the John
Do you
Cedars
have a
channel.
name?
You can go to a bunch of other
Do you have a
channels
name?
and see what. Yeah, I have a name.
What's your name?
My name is none of your business, sir.
Well, you're a liar now. You're lying to me. My name's Floyd Fagan. I'm not ashamed to tell you my name. Why are you afraid
I'm now
to
going
tell
to
me
stand
your
here
name?
silently and wait for this person to go away, viewers.
Well, that could take all day, you know, because
Good.
I'm feeling pretty good here.
Good. You know what I'm
And,
feeling good about too? I'm feeling
feeling
good
good that
about
you-
standing next to these cult members with some of their literature.
Okay.
Let's do that, viewers.
Now, viewers, you're on TV now?
The cult members are enjoying this right now. See, this is what happens when you're in this cult, and you don't have to worry about talking to apostates. You just wait for somebody else to come up and do your defending for you. Excuse me.
There's no defense necessary for Jesus Christ. He's the way, the truth, and the life. You're not doing any good here. You're just making trouble. But I'll check it out just in case. Maybe you do have some value. I wouldn't bet a dime on it, but it is possible.
You take care. All right.
Yes, viewers, you never know what you will get when you chronicle the behavior of the early 21st century cult members.
Can people interact with you on the internet or no?
Would
Yes
you,
or no?
Would you mind? Yeah, you can comment all you want.
Okay,
And
good.
I respond to comments.
Good.
Yep.
Okay.
Unlike these cult members, viewers, I do not censor. Every single person leaving this cult who has set up a YouTube channel welcomes criticism, welcomes scrutiny. Because really, viewers, as you know, the reason people have left this cult was because they decided being truthful and being honest was more important than being loyal. These cult members are definitely being loyal to Watchtower, but as you know, I am trying, and so are you, to be honest to what is true. In particular, what is true about this cult. I'm now going to turn off the recording device, viewers, but I assure you I'm going to be standing here with the magazines for quite some time today. Yes, viewers, the cult members have moved. Oh boy, viewers. Observe the cult members moving right from here to over there. Amazing, viewers. Amazing. I wonder if these cult members actually think that when I go right there to hold the magazines, if that will then make it possible for them to call the police today. I wonder if these cult members actually think that if I were to walk right there and still be 3 feet away from them, that they would then be able to tell the police that I have followed them, that I have stalked them from there to there, and that they're actually going to call the police to see if they're going to care. I wonder if these cult members think that this gentleman will act as a witness if I do that. I wonder if these cult members think that if I move a little bit closer to them, they'll be able to say, "Officer, this man has stalked us," and that man right there is a witness. I wonder if they would do that. Let's see. Let's see if these cult members would do that. Again, viewers, I assure you I'm going to be standing next to this cart with an invitation to survive Armageddon and live forever in paradise until something else happens that is worth capturing. Yes, viewers, it's only been about maybe 5, maybe 10 minutes. No one has stopped to ask for directions today. No one has stopped to ask for directions so far, and no one has stopped to berate me, along with the cult members, for not being ashamed enough of ourselves to not be here. You will recall, viewers, that on Saturday, a man did come up to me and the cult members to tell us that we ought to be ashamed of ourselves. Of course, I was the focus of his berating. The cult member was just sitting there next to the cart with the sleeve on it. I was the one standing there with the literature. And yes, people walking by do confuse yours truly with these cult members simply because I am holding a piece of literature, wearing a tie, standing like a statue. And I wonder if these cult members are thinking about that. I wonder if these cult members are telling themselves, well, he's in a shirt, he's in a tie, his shirt is tucked in, he's shaved, he's holding literature. Really, what harm? What harm can it cause if everybody walking past just thinks that he's with us? But as you know, viewers, the cult members in a bunch of other instances, just like this one, did roll away. So I don't know if you're like me, viewers, if you're confused as to what the divinely inspired direction from the creator of heaven and earth is for these cult members regarding what they're to do in a situation like this. Sometimes they roll away, sometimes they stay. I wonder if they're figuring it out as they go along. I wonder if these cult members are figuring out as they go along, or they're just standing there waiting for me to become frustrated enough, impatient enough, angry enough that I actually do something where then they get to do a backflip. Where they then get to do a backflip and leap for joy over the prospect of being able to actually call the police and tell them about something I've done open and shut. As you know, viewers, in situations like this, the ones who violate the other's rights are the cult members. As you know, viewers, in situations like this, that when you actually try to engage the cult members as a former cult member, you can expect the cult member to grab personal property away from you, to try to physically intimidate you, to lie to you, to threaten you with police involvement, to lie to the police, and to definitely make sure that you don't hear what they are saying to the police. Yes. When the cult members have decided that they have had enough of the filthy, disgusting apostate, they are the ones who will engage in any number of open and shut violations of your rights. I wonder, viewers, if I'm trying to think of the worst thing that I have done to these cult members since starting this. I wonder if you were to do speaking of checklists, viewers, I wonder if you were to do a checklist of things that the cult members have done to yours truly versus a checklist of things that I have done to them in the last 9 months. I wonder what you'd have to admit. I wonder what you'd have to admit. I wonder what these cult members would have to admit if they would participate in that checklist exercise. Oh, speaking of checklist exercise, viewers, Let's once again return to the Circuit Overseer Guidelines. Just give me a moment to find them here. Here we go. The 2017 Circuit Overseer Guidelines. Checklist when considering appointments and deletions. Before making appointments of elders and ministerial servants, please consider the following, keeping in mind that each brother must measure up to a reasonable degree. Experience and maturity. Sufficient age, life experience, and respective congregation. Baptized at least 1 year. If baptized many years ago, why only now being recommended? Observe, viewers, I have not left the general area. I am lingering close to the general area. I am actually, as you can see plainly, invited. I am, as you can see, invited. A person, as you can see, is invited to help themselves to a piece of literature or to talk to the cult members. I don't know. It doesn't say, it doesn't say you are invited. Come ask me a question. It just says you are invited. I wonder if that's deliberate, viewers. What are we invited to do? I don't understand. Well, I know that in a public place, I'm invited to read to you from the Circuit Overseer Guidelines regarding experience and maturity. If baptized many years ago, why only now being recommended? Family. Wife and any children living at home, good examples. Regular family worship. Again, viewers, these are all phrased as questions. Every single one of these points has a question mark after it. So the Circuit Overseer is being encouraged to go out and do a little sleuthing so that he can get to the bottom of these of this checklist, so that he can report it and submit it to the branch and feel good about his role in the unfolding of God's eternal purpose. Once again, back to God's eternally unfolding purpose, viewers. Field service activity. Meaningful, zealous share. Restricted share because of other spiritual obligations or theocratic projects. Tested as to fitness. Shows himself to be a spiritual man. Cares for responsibilities. Viewpoint of elders. Is recommendation unanimous? I wonder if this cult member was ever the dissenting voice among his fellow appointed cult members when somebody was being considered for appointment. I wonder if this cult member ever said, guys, yeah, he's a great brother. Yeah, he gives great comments. Yeah, he's a great speaker. Yeah, he's well reported on by the brothers. However, I don't really know if he should be appointed for such and such. I wonder if this cult member ever was the one dissenting voice. Or I wonder if there were dissenting voices when he was being considered for appointment. Again, we'll never know. We'll never know, viewers, because as you know, these cult members really do prefer that the only impression the world has of them is the one that they prefer to present. The actual truth, the actual raw footage, the actual leaked videos are not what they would prefer. For instance, the leaked video that these cult members are going to be watching at the 2018 Be Courageous Convention, where Gary Bro compared moving to another congregation, if asked, to making sacrifices. Viewers, I have typed out the transcript to that video. I will be reading to you from that. But as far as I can remember, Gary Bro was basically saying that congregations are being sold, kingdom halls are being sold, congregations are being amalgamated, and that to just cooperate with the direction is to follow the regional branch plan. What a privilege it is for these cult members locally to be able to tell themselves that they're cooperating with regional branch plans. Oh, I wonder if this cult member, after seeing that video, is going to go around to the congregation saying, well, sister, brother, it really is quite a privilege for us to be able to participate in the regional branch plan. I wonder if those words exactly are going to come out of this cult member's mouth. And if he's going to expect his fellow cult member to go, you're right, brother, it is a privilege. Jehovah really is speeding things up. Wow, look, we now get to participate in a regional branch plan. Typically, these low-level cult members don't use expressions like that, but really, Watchtower is scrambling to keep these cult members feeling like they are more important to God than you and than anyone else walking by? There's a question. There's a question, viewers. How does Watchtower keep these cult members feeling as though they are more important to God than you or I? I think one thing they do is that they be very vague in what they say on the stands. You are invited. It feels good to say, you are invited. That makes me feel good. If I were to just stand here with a sign around my neck that said, you are invited, I would feel good. I would feel good about that. You are invited. You are invited. You are invited. You're all invited. I wonder if somebody had come up to these cult members and said, so your sign says I'm invited. I'm invited to do what? If they had said anything. If they had said anything other than you're invited to take a piece of literature and you're invited to go to jw.org. Really, that's about all you're invited to do, viewers. That's about all these people are invited to do. Actually talking to the cult members, actually putting some tough questions to these cult members is, well, as you know, viewers, not something that you are invited to do. Continuing. Past difficulties. Reproved within the past 3 years or reinstated within the past 5 years? I wonder if this cult member knew that. I wonder if this cult member has participated in the assessment process before a brother has been appointed an elder, and he knew that whether or not that brother had been reproved within the past 3 years or reinstated within the prior 5 years, that was going to factor in, or if that was just something that the circuit overseer was going to know for himself. While he made his way through the 130 pages of circuit overseer guidelines. Notoriety of past wrongdoing subsided. Again, viewers, you know I love this one. Notoriety of past wrongdoing subsided. How does the circuit overseer confirm whether or not the notoriety of a brother's past wrongdoing has subsided? Who do you think he talks to? Well, he talks to the elders, who, as you know, have become monitors. Oh, speaking of monitors, I'm going to read to you now from the consent form. I'll read to you now from the consent form that is circulating congregations in the European Union right now. I have printed that out. Let me just give me a moment to find it, viewers. Speaking of snitching, speaking of monitoring. Oh, I went right to it, viewers. Oh, things are unfolding nicely today, viewers. Yeah. Notice and consent for use of personal data. Yeah. Notice and consent for use of personal data, viewers. I duplicated this exactly. You'll notice the hyphens. You'll notice the hyphens there. I had to do that so that it resembled exactly. This is an exact replica, viewers, of the consent form that is circulating to congregations in the European Union right now because of laws that have been passed. I wonder if the time comes in this country, if this cult member will be walking around the congregation to ask the sheep in his group to sign this. Notice and consent form. Notice and consent for use of personal data. Upon becoming a publisher, I acknowledge... Oh man, this is so good, viewers. I got goosebumps. Upon becoming a publisher, I acknowledge that the worldwide religious organization of Jehovah's Witnesses, including my congregation, local branch office, and similar cooperating organizations of Jehovah's Witnesses lawfully uses my personal data in accordance with its legitimate religious interests. Woo! Man, that sounds good. That sounds so good. Additionally, I consent. Jehovah's Witnesses consent to a lot, don't they, viewers? Jehovah's Witnesses consent to a lot. I consent to the use of my personal data so that I may participate in some religious activities in connection with my worship, and so that I may receive spiritual support. I wonder what happens in the way of these cult members receiving spiritual support and being able to participate in religious activities if they don't want to sign this consent form? I wonder if this cult member were to present this cult member with this consent form and she said, you know what, brother, I don't think I'm going to sign it. It sounds a little invasive. I wonder if this cult member would just come right out and say, well, then I don't really know if you're going to qualify to serve as a pioneer. Just saying. Just saying. I wonder if this cult member would do that. I consent to the use of my personal data so that I may participate, in some, viewers, in some religious activities in connection with my worship and so that I may receive spiritual support. I also agree that my personal data may be sent to any of the cooperating organizations of Jehovah's Witnesses, which may be located in countries whose laws provide different levels of data protection that are not always equivalent to the level of data protection in the country in which I currently reside. That's an EU country, by the way, viewers. I have been informed about and had the opportunity to read the use of personal data page available in the privacy policy section of jw.org and available to me as a hard copy upon request. I consent. I consent to the use of my personal data as stated on that page and as it may be amended from time to time. Yeah. What will these cult members be asked to sign next, viewers? What will these cult members be expected to swallow next? Well, they're going to be expected to swallow quite a few pieces of propaganda at their 2018 Be Courageous convention. I'm going to have to really get that transcript out here soon, viewers, before the convention actually happens. And so these cult members can know that everything that they think makes them so precious in God's eyes is really just leaking all over the internet right now. Really, it's just leaking all over the internet right now. And what do leaks signify, viewers? I wonder if I were to ask these cult members, they've heard the illustration many times in public talks given about the Titanic. People thought the Titanic was such and such. See, now this cult member has no context. It's a good thing that these cult members get to rotate every 15 minutes because they don't really appreciate the context. But they will stay put for 30 minutes at a time so that their public speaker can keep the brainwashing fresh. But in the case of yours truly, a filthy, disgusting apostate, notice how they only have to worry about listening to him or not listening to him for 15 minutes at a time. I'm now going to stand right here with the magazine's viewer. We'll see if I can play some literature today. I wonder if I can play some literature today, viewers, as I did on, what was it, Friday? Yes, viewers, the cult minder has returned. He is relieving those under his care. The shepherd has come to relieve the sheep.
You mind leaving us alone, please?
This cult member really doesn't understand that I am not talking to him.
Okay, so please leave us alone.
I am filming the surroundings. I'm recording the sound of my own voice. They are the ones choosing to stay. Would you guys mind staying? Would you guys mind staying, please? Oh. Yep. You know what they're hoping now, viewers. You know what they are hoping now. Yeah. We'll talk to this guy now. Actually, you know what? It's not worth it. It's not worth it. I was going to tell him that he can go to my channel and just watch the 2 review videos. Take 10 minutes to watch the 2 review videos. But really, you know what? If he was sincere about checking me out, he'll figure it out on his own. If he is a truth seeker, he will figure it out on his own. Yeah. So these cult members have asked me to please leave them alone, and they have moved away. They are now waiting for me to not leave them alone so that they can tell the police, okay, we asked him to leave us alone. Officer, so let's recreate the call to the police. Okay, I am a cult member. I'm a cult member. Yeah, hi, officer. Actually, over here. Come over here. I don't want him hearing. I really don't want him hearing what I'm saying. So we were standing right over there. We asked him to go away, and then we moved. And then when we moved right over here, he followed us. Here they come now. Oh. Looks like the law enforcement agencies are a little too busy in Vancouver today to come babysit cult members. So, as you know, viewers, in a public space, 3 feet. 3 feet is the allowable law by allowable distance by law. I am not invading the personal space of these cult members. I am narrating to my viewers. I am filming the surroundings, the sound of my own voice. And once again, they are the ones choosing to stay. One of these days, viewers, I will be able to do this somewhere where there is no doubt that the cult members will be able to hear me. But this is a loud area. There's a waterfall right over there, which is making a bit of ambient noise. There's a food truck right here. I wonder if these cult members knew to move here and not a little bit further that way, where the noise of the food truck motor wouldn't be such a difficulty. I wonder if this cult member said, okay, if we move, let's move right in between the food trucks, so that hopefully the motors will frustrate the filthy apostate and he won't linger. Well, really, the filthy apostate is not frustrated today, viewers, because he is marveling. He's too busy marveling at the variety of responses and the variety of behavior from the early 21st century cult members. It is quite a treat. Really, it is quite a treat to be a chronicler of these cult members, and I know that many of you are chronicling them in your area as well. I wonder what the consensus is going to be in the next year, 5 years, if these cult members keep telling people that they're invited, but invited to do what exactly, I don't know. You are invited. Think about that, viewers. Yeah. Who wouldn't want to stand next to a sign, dressing in a dignified way, in a modest way, wearing a smile, and letting everybody know walking by that, quote unquote, they're invited? Yeah. You are invited.
I am indeed. Thank you, sir.
You guys are invited.
Thanks.
Okay. Hey, sir. You are invited. Yeah. Hey, guys. Hey, guys. You're invited. Maybe a language barrier. See, it does feel good to just tell people that they're invited. They smile back and they say thanks. So really, I think Watchtower has been quite crafty in their bit of street display here. Because who wouldn't want to stand next to a sign that says, you are invited on it? But as you know, viewers, actually the sign should read, the sign should actually read, you're invited, but pretty soon you're not going to be invited, are you? You're invited for now. You're invited for now.